It was a dare that no one saw coming, a challenge that would rock the foundations of soccer. The Women's League, tired of being undervalued and underpaid, threw down the gauntlet. They challenged the Men's League to a match, not just any match. A battle for respect, a fight for equal pay. The stakes were high, higher than any World Cup final. This wasn't about a trophy, it was about proving a point. The Women's League wanted to show their worth. They wanted to demonstrate that they deserved equal pay, equal recognition, equal respect. The Men's League accepted. They were confident, perhaps too confident. They saw it as an easy win, a chance to put the women in their place. Little did they know, they were walking into a trap set by women who had been underestimated for far too long. The date was set, the venue chosen, the world held its breath. This wasn't just a game, it was a battle of the sexes, a fight for equality. And it was about to begin. The soccer pitch was about to become a battlefield, a place where history would be made. The Lions, champions of the league, undefeated for 3 seasons, the pinnacle of male soccer prowess. The Women's League picked the Lavenders, a low-ranking team. It seemed like a mistake, a forfeit before the game even began. But there was more to this choice than met the eye. They were about to change the game, forever. The stadium was packed, every seat filled, the atmosphere electric. Fans of both sides cheered. The Lions strode onto the field. Confident, powerful, they looked unbeatable. The Lavenders followed, they seemed relaxed, almost too relaxed. The contrast was stark. The whistle blew. The game began. The Lions attacked. They were fast, aggressive, they dominated possession. But something was off. They couldn't break through. The Lavenders' defense was impenetrable. It was like trying to score against a brick wall, a very fast, very skilled brick wall. Minutes ticked by. The Lions grew frustrated. They pushed harder, ran faster, but it made no difference. The Lavenders were always one step ahead, always in the right place. It was as if they could predict every move, every pass, every shot. Then it happened. A Lavender counterattack. So fast it was almost invisible. The ball flew past the Lions' goalkeeper. Goal. The stadium fell silent. Shock rippled through the crowd. The Lions looked stunned. The Lavenders? They barely celebrated. They just got back into position, ready for more. The game had only just begun. The goal was just the beginning. The Lavenders unleashed a barrage. Their passes were precise, their shots unstoppable. The Lions were overwhelmed. They couldn't keep up, couldn't defend, couldn't attack. They were outclassed in every way. Goal after goal found the back of the net. The scoreboard kept changing. 2-0, 5-0, 8-0. It was relentless. The Lions tried everything. They changed formation, made substitutions, nothing worked. The Lavenders were untouchable, unstoppable. It was like they were playing a different game. The crowd was in disbelief. Fans rubbed their eyes, checked the scoreboard again and again. This couldn't be happening, but it was. The Women's League's lowest-ranked team was demolishing the Men's League's champions, and they made it look easy. Too easy. As halftime approached, the score was 10-0. The Lions were demoralized, exhausted. The Lavenders, they hadn't even broken a sweat. They jogged off the field looking fresh, ready for more. The stadium buzzed with confusion, with excitement, with the realization that they were witnessing something extraordinary, something historic. Section 5, Halftime, Whispers and Worries. The locker rooms told 2 different stories. In the Lions' den, chaos, shouting, finger-pointing, furious coach arguing players. In the Lavenders' room, calm, eerily calm. The coach spoke softly, reminded them of the plan. The players nodded. They understood. It was about sending a message. Outside, the crowd was abuzz. Social media exploded. As the teams prepared to return, tension filled the air. The contrast was stark, the message clear. Section 6, second half, the floodgates opened, the whistle blew, the second half began. The Lions came out fighting, they attacked with everything they had. But the Lavenders were ready. They absorbed every attack, countered with deadly precision. The goals kept coming. The scoreboard couldn't keep up. The Lions were running on empty. The Lavenders, they looked like they could play for hours more. It was a masterclass in soccer. The crowd's mood shifted, from shock to awe. The final whistle blew. The scoreboard read 22-0. Section 7, final whistle, a historic scoreline. The stadium erupted, not in cheers, not in boos, but in a collective gasp. 22-0. It was unheard of, unprecedented. The Lions stood shell-shocked. Some fell to their knees, others stared blankly at the scoreboard. They couldn't process what had just happened. They had been utterly defeated. The Lavenders gathered in a circle, they hugged, they smiled. But they didn't celebrate wildly. There was no need. Their performance had said everything. They had proven their point and then some. They had changed the game forever. As the teams shook hands, the contrast was stark. The Lions were broken, humbled. The Lavenders were composed, gracious in victory. There was no gloating, no taunting, just quiet confidence. The kind that comes from knowing you've done something extraordinary. The world watched in awe. Records had been shattered. Perceptions changed. This wasn't just a victory, it was a revolution, a statement, a demand for equality that couldn't be ignored. The game was over, but its impact was just beginning.
In the press conference, the truth came out. The Lavenders' coach stepped up to the microphone. Her words sent shockwaves through the room. "We played at 5% of our capability," she said. The room fell silent. Jaws dropped. Pens stopped mid-sentence. It seemed impossible, but it was true. She explained their strategy, how they had deliberately chosen their lowest-ranked team, how they had used their second reserve coach, all to prove a point, to show that even at their weakest, they were formidable, that they deserved equal pay, equal respect. The room buzzed with the implications.
The Lions captain spoke next, his voice shaky, his eyes downcast. "We were outplayed," he admitted, "completely outclassed. I've never seen anything like it." His honesty was raw, painful but necessary. He called for change, for recognition of the women's skill, for equal pay. His words carried weight.
As the press conference ended, the world reeled. This wasn't just about one game. It was about the future of soccer, about equality in sports, about recognizing talent, regardless of gender. The game had changed, and there was no going back.
Section 9, the ripple effect, changing the face of soccer. The aftermath was immediate and far-reaching. Social media exploded. #EqualPay trended worldwide. Fans demanded action, players spoke out, both men and women. The call for change was deafening. It couldn't be ignored. Soccer associations scrambled to respond. Emergency meetings were called, policies were reviewed, the pressure was immense. Some embraced change immediately, others resisted. But the writing was on the wall. Equal pay was no longer a request, it was a demand, backed by undeniable proof of skill. The impact spread beyond soccer. Other sports took notice. Debates raged in basketball, tennis, golf. The conversation about gender equality in sports had been reignited, with a force that couldn't be extinguished. The Lavenders' victory had become a rallying cry, a symbol of what was possible. As the dust settled, one thing was clear. The game had changed. Not just soccer, but the entire landscape of sports. The battle for equality had taken a giant leap forward. On a soccer field, with a scoreline that would echo through history, 22-0, a score that changed everything.